let's talk about the organization and how it's so obvious that it's not a loving organization. The Jehovah's Witness organization is far, far from loving, right? Far from loving, and it's obvious. Um, I remember when I was in the organization, right? This is right before the first time I became inactive, right? I I was a teenager, right? I remember I used to be one of the few. I used to be one of the few teenagers that took the time to speak to the elderly, right? Whether the elderly sisters or the elderly brothers. I felt so bad for them because they was always by themselves. And I remember going to the conventions, right? The assemblies and the conventions, and I would just see them in the either with their canes or their wheelchairs, and they was always by themselves. No one would talk to them during the lunchtime, and that shit broke my heart. That broke my heart seeing them um, just by themselves at lunch. Everyone, all the young ones were, with other young ones, going to, just roaming around the conventions and assemblies. You see the, middle-aged people with the middle-aged people, the young ones with the young ones, and you would see the elderly ones, right? In the wheelchairs with canes, just by themselves. And I was like, damn, that just broke my heart. I broke my heart. And that's why I made it a goal. When I was in an organization, I made it a goal to seek out the older ones. Because I said to myself, if I was in my 70s and 80s, I would want people to conversate with me too. I would want people to come to me and talk to me. I wouldn't want to be alone. That's so depressing. But yeah, there's a few people in the past that I knew that passed. A few people, elderly people that passed away back in the day. I was just reminiscing real quick, but yeah. So going back to the theme of this discussion, how the organization is far from loving, right? It's far from loving, and I remember it being so cliquish. Right? You would have the married couples with the married couples, the elders with the elders, the pioneers with the pioneers, the young ones with the young ones. It was just so cliquish, right? And it's like, how is that loving? Like, they always say, oh, Jehovah's organization is so loving. It's a loving organization. And I'm like, I never experienced that. Maybe to a certain degree, a small degree here and there, but as a whole, no way in hell. When I think of loving, like, you would think that everyone would get along with everybody, right? Right? After the meeting, you would hang out with all sorts of people. Outside of the meeting, you would hang out with all sorts of people, right? From all different walks, all different ages. No, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in the organization. You have your quiet ones, like the weirdos, hang out with the weirdos, the married couples with the married couples, the young ones with the young ones, the pioneers with the pioneers. It was all cliquish, right? That's not loving. That's not loving. It's not like we're all holding hands and singing kumbaya. It's not loving at all. It's not a loving organization. Then you have the gossipers. People gossip about each other, right? So I say to myself, how is it a loving organization, right? And then on another aspect, right, on another level, right? So a few weeks ago, right before I came out to the world as an apostate, right, I had a small gap, where I was a PMO, right? I was inside the organization, and I just got reinstated. Everyone, all my JW friends and family, were calling me, texting me, "Hey, welcome back," and I had a chance to talk to a few of them, I remember asking one of my former friends now, but one of my JW former friends, I asked him, I said, listen, do you honestly believe that a loving God is going to kill billions and billions of people? Do you think a loving God is capable of doing that? Like, why would he do that? He wouldn't be a loving God if he did that, right? And the first thing that came out their mouth, this is their response, right? They said, well, they died in the days of the flood with Noah, so it's going to be the same thing. They're just gonna, if they don't serve Jehovah, if they don't come to get to know Jehovah, they're just gonna die at the end. And I'm saying to myself, that's the first thing that came out their mouth. I'm saying to myself, like, you wouldn't feel bad? Imagine seeing a 5-year-old boy get hit by a fireball, right? Or imagine seeing a mother with her kids just dead out in the streets. You think a loving God would do that? And just like with witnesses, for witnesses, they believe that, I already know Paradise Earth is not coming. I already know that 100%, right? You can't, I feel like I'm saying this in every video, but you can't even find the words Paradise Earth in the Bible, right? You won't find those words in the Bible. So, and the 3 times that that paradise is mentioned, is speaking in heaven, and speaking about heaven, not Paradise Earth, right? But anyway, so witnesses believe that paradise is going to come on earth, right? And in order for that paradise to happen, that billions of people will have to die. So just thinking about that, just the thought of billions of people dying, and like a witness, it doesn't affect them, it doesn't bother them, they don't care. They're ready. They're ready, and yeah, they're ready for that day to happen by all means. Even if they have to step over billions of bodies, you know, millions and millions of bodies, they don't care. And it's like, that's heartbreaking. It's like, where's the love? Where's the compassion? If you are right with thinking that, if you are right with walking over dead bodies just so that you can live forever on the paradise earth, it's like, where's your humanity? You're supposed to care about other people. Now, and just thinking that a loving God would do that, that tells me what kind of person you are. Because even when I was fully devout, even when I fully believed in the organization, right? Even when I believed that this was the truth, I still was never 100%. I was never 100% content with the fact that billions of people would have to die, that the majority of the world would have to die just so that a small percentage would live. I always said to myself, why would a loving God do that? Like, it's like this whole organization is run on hate. It's not love, it's run on hate. Because for you to want to live forever on a paradise earth, and you just perfectly okay, you're okay with billions of people die, you're okay with 99% of the earth dying so that you can live forever, how is that loving? How is that loving? And then on another aspect, right, I also say to myself, like, and I love this scripture, Matthew 22:39, to love your neighbor as yourself, right? I have another video about that. But how witnesses don't apply that at all, right? They don't apply the second commandment, love your neighbor as yourself. They don't apply that at all. I said this before in my other video, right? And how the governing body tells witnesses, oh, stay away from non-believers. If they're not a witness, don't even eat with them, don't talk to them, just stay away from them, right? How is that loving? Witnesses are already, they prejudge everyone who's not a witness. They think they're a horrible, wicked person, right? You're prejudging already. How is that loving? That's far from loving. So it's like this organization claims that they're loving, happy people, when that's far from the truth. There is no love. There's no love in this organization at all. They don't even love them. When you think about it, Jehovah's Witnesses love nobody, right? They don't love their own kind, because their own kind can one day wake up like I did, right? And say, hey, I did my research. This is not the truth. Oh, you don't believe this is the truth anymore? Fuck you. Sorry, I don't mean this. The hell with you, right? The hell with you. People will say that. They'll say, oh, you don't believe that this is the truth? Have a nice life. Take care. That happened with me. It happened with me, right? I'm not a bad person. All I did was say, listen, I did my research. I don't believe this is the truth anymore. I encourage you to do your research. The minute you say that, you're cut off. You're shunned, right? So Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't love their own kind. It's all conditional. It's all fake. Superficial, right? So they don't love their own kind. They don't love non-believers. They think that they're wicked, horrible people. They prejudge everyone they meet. If you're not a witness, they're prejudging you. They think you're a wicked, horrible person, right? Then even inside the organization, they gossip, right? They have favoritism, cliques. They pick and choose who they want to love. They don't talk to and conversate and love everyone as a whole, right? They have their own favorites, and they're no different from any other religion. They keep saying, "Well, we're a loving organization. We love each other." No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you don't love everyone that you encounter in an organization. You're gonna have your cliques, like I said, pioneers with the pioneers, the elders with the elders, the young ones with the young ones. You know, the single people with the single people. It's all cliquish. There is no love. There is no love in this organization. It's all fake. It's all fake. But yeah, that's just something I was thinking about earlier today. How there is zero love, and I say to myself, how do witnesses not see this? Anyone can see that this is that this organization is far from loving. It's fake. It's all fake. That's enough of my rant, but